Hey guys, we're live. It is Saturday afternoon, um, just about 1:10, and sorry, I'm online as well as talking to you guys. So I am slightly multitasking, not really, just closing some stuff down here as we proceed. And as per the title, what I was going to talk about um, briefly, maybe not in full detail. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And if anyone has questions, if anyone pops in to listen and they have some questions, we'll um, address whatever's asked. My routine has been simplified through the years, and I can to anticipate a question, of course, may or may not be asked. I can sort of hear people say when I describe my routine, well, what about work? Um, Good question. I have um, I've been slightly retired for a number of years, um, meaning I basically work in a gig economy. I teach meditation um, as well as breath work, and so sometimes I get paid, sometimes I don't get paid. I am living largely on money saved that I inherited. Um, Unfortunately, I'm living with my brother, who right now is briefly unemployed, so I am covering his bills as well. So my savings are um, diminishing alarmingly quickly. However, um, what happened was before COVID, I had my own little training business, mostly kettlebells, some body weight stuff. Um, I had did some strength training for some ultra runners. Sorry, my nose itches. Um, I worked with a few collegiate high school wrestlers, an assortment, just general conditioning, nothing really specialized. Although I did train some people for kettlebell sport as well. Um, but quite a few ultra runners for strength training, as well as just people who wanted to be fit and strong, no special purpose or projects in mind, just everyday life stuff, working with a few people to lose weight, that kind of stuff. Um, and then COVID hit, and I had to shut things down. A little bit online, but mostly shut things down because I was also a caregiver for my father, and he was still in relatively good shape up to just about the second year into COVID. Well, starting the second year into COVID, and but he had a history of pneumonia. He was 89, 90 at the time, and some other health issues as well. He had been out of the hospital for a burst gallbladder. So at that age, with those conditions, even in being general good health at the time, he also had congestive heart failure, but it hadn't really hit him hard at that time. I couldn't bring people into my house to train, and I couldn't go to their house and train. I couldn't take the chance of exposing my father to COVID even a little bit. And so that meant I didn't have a business. I had very little income coming in, but I had some money saved up. So I was doing okay. Sorry, my cat is here. So um, when my father passed away, I inherited the house along with my brother. Um, we largely split the bills. I had some money that I inherited. I had sold my car. So I had some money saved up, and I thought I could coast for a few years, mainly writing um, and doing my yoga, meditating, living a contemplative life, which a life of writing, a life of meditation, a life of yoga, of being out in nature as often as possible. And that was my dream for however long I could do it. And then we'll see. Um, so that has freed my time to have a very, what seems like a structured routine. However, as structured as it appears when I tell it, um, I should mention that it's also, to me, even though I might do the same thing every day, it just feels so spontaneous, so natural. Just this uh, thing occurring that I am immensely in love participating in, and I do. And then I move on to that next spontaneous thing. Just so happens it's the same spontaneous arising at the same time every day, but it's always new. It's always a spontaneous arising. That's the amazing thing about life. It might seem like things are repeated. Nothing is ever repeated. Not one thing ever is exactly the same. It's impossible. And when you can begin to start to see that, um, life truly does become miraculous. You don't walk around with your head in your cloud, with the head in the cloud, thinking in terms of, oh wow, everything is just enlightened and awakened and perfect. It's just this quiet knowing of the miraculous nature of existence itself. And that's enough. You no longer search for that, the big bang of enlightenment, the dawning of awakening. You're just perfectly content with those small little synchronistic events uh, that flow through your life, or more aptly said, that you flow along with throughout life. So, I am generally up before 3 o'clock, not by much. Um, for whatever reason, I seem to wake up at about 2, but I don't uh, leap out of bed. I stay in bed for a little bit. I have my alarm set for 3. I can't think of the last time I actually needed my alarm. Um, so I stay in bed. I might drift off for a little bit again, but I'm up and I'm out of bed by 3 o'clock every morning. No real desire to sleep in, no or to lay in bed, no matter what the weather. It's not that I have things to do, it's that there are things to do. That makes sense. Sort of a subtle difference. Um, I'm eager to leap into the day. I'm eager to do the things that I love, and my day is filled with things that I love. Beginning with, I've mentioned before, as often as I can think of it, which is generally every morning, I start my day just with a silent prayer. Sometimes it comes out loud. Simple thank you. I'm here. I'm laying in bed. I'm listening to the rain, or whatever seems to be occurring. And none of that had to be. I could have just as easily not be here, not exist. Or who's to say I absolutely have to make it through the night? Every day, I wake up. It is most certainly a blessing, no matter what, because it's a day filled with possibilities of potentiality. Anything can happen. Meaning some bad things might happen too, but mostly infinitely good things. Just as taking a simple breath, being able to breathe, being able to breathe unobstructed. A couple years ago, I had some breathing issues that needed to be addressed that still haven't fully been addressed. I think some of it stems from an issue with my jaw. It's misaligned jaw, as well as arthritis. Um, but I've largely gotten it in order. Doesn't seem to affect me too much. It did lead, along with some other things, to some anxiety and some middle of the night panic attacks. So again, when I wake up and I've had a good night's sleep, I say thank you each and every day. The German mystic, Christian mystic, Meister Eckhart, had said that if the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that would be enough. And it certainly is that way for me. So I begin my day just before 3 o'clock with a thank you. Simple prayer. Show of gratitude. If I remember, put my hands together, a little namaste, and I say thank you. Or I just think it. I use the bathroom. My first thing I do after using the bathroom is into a yoga posture, and that is Sukhasana, which is the easy pose, or a version of the easy pose. That is my meditation posture for the morning. I'm on my meditation cushion and I sit. What I love about that pose, even though it's a very energetic pose for meditation, it keeps the spine straight. It also stretches out the hip flexors, which is great for the back. And for the past 2 months, I've been waking up with a really sore back. And it feels much better after sitting in meditation. When I sit, I do my first pranayama session for the day, which is every morning the breath of fire. Sometimes bellows breath, which is a more breath of fire has a passive exhalation or a passive inhalation, and with bellows breath it is more active on the exhalation and the inhalation. But I prefer a slightly more gentle breath of fire, and I do 3 rounds of 20 reps. Not reps, breath. You can tell someone who works out a lot when they speak in terms of reps. You can call it reps the same, because, a breath in, a breath out, a cycle, a rep. It doesn't matter. And the reason why the breath of fire, it's an energetic breath. It puts me in the sympathetic nervous state. So it's like drinking a cup of coffee without having that great big rush of caffeine. It just very easily puts me into that sympathetic nervous state, wakes me up, prepares my mind for meditation, and to start the day, knowing that I have things that I'll be doing, some big things, some little things throughout the day. So as I ease out of my breath, just relax a little bit, and then I enter my first meditation session for the day, which is anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. And it is a mantra-based Vedic meditation, primordial sound meditation, sort of a derivative of transcendental meditation. They come from that same school of Vedic mantra-based meditation. Same consciousness, the same approach. And so I meditate. And then I am up. I put water on to boil for my first cup of coffee, my only cup of coffee for the day. And I feed my cats. And I am ready for my first yoga routine for the day. And that it used to be based upon sun salutation with a few inversions, whatever else might have spontaneously fit into the pattern that I was doing, but largely sun salutation, which I absolutely love. However, I've had to cut down quite a bit because, again, of my issue with my back. I've been doing, for the past week or so, the 5 Tibetan Rites, officially titled the 5 Tibetan Rites of Rejuvenation. It's a practice that I have had on again, off again for 25 years or more. And weirdly, I do it more when something goes wrong to fix an issue. And then I'll keep it in place for quite some time. And then when I'm feeling better, I sort of ease it out and I go back into whatever I've been doing before the issue. It is a very healing, great for mobility, standalone practice. 5 Tibetans, 5 dynamic yoga moves from spinning to doing the tabletop position, doing a gentle back bend to upward dog, downward dog, and um, leg lifts, all done in a specific breathing pattern with a specific breath afterwards. It takes, even when you work up to the prescribed 21 repetitions of each, it might take 10 minutes. It might take 15 minutes. Because right now I'm only doing about 7 repetitions for each movement. It takes me about 10 minutes. I throw in some gentle asanas as well. When relieving pose, lots and lots of child poses, stuff like that, just to ease out any tension in my back. As well, I like to base my yoga asana on energetic patterns of opening up the energy centers in the body along the spines. Not so much Kundalini yoga, but with Kundalini in mind as I do that, opening the myself to the chakra energies. I know my yoga routine is over when the kettle boils and whistles, and I pour myself my one and only cup of coffee for the day. Something I enjoy immensely, and I used to love drinking coffee through the day. It doesn't agree with me anymore, but that one coffee, and since it's not even yet 4 in the morning, or just about get close to it, I can afford to have that one cup. It's something I just absolutely cherish, and it's part of my writing routine. I sit at my desk in front of my desktop where I am right now, and I sip my coffee, and I simply sit. And when words come, I write in my blog every day. And I have in this particular blog for 25 years or so. I've had the habit of writing every single day for over 25 years, out missing a day whatsoever. Even when I was doing ultras, 100-mile races and 24-hour races, I would send myself a text. I would write thoughts, poems, haikus, whatever, and send them to myself in a text on my cell phone. So every day, if you have a practice, you do it every day. You don't skip it. It's the same with meditation. I meditate every day, twice every day. There have been times when those meditation sessions might be 5 minutes. When I was caring for my father, doctor's appointments, sometimes it was sitting in my car for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever I had time for, to get my meditation in. But I got my meditation every day, as well as my workouts. It's not the matter of making yourself a priority as it is as knowing that at the time, my dad's health being a priority, I needed to be strong and capable and fit and mentally resilient, emotionally resilient, in order to care for him to the best of my ability. I needed to keep my ability to be patient and kind, understanding, my listening skills, empathetic, compassion. All those had to be aligned in order for me to be the best caregiver that I could possibly be. So I took that time, and my dad was very understanding about that time. Although he always knew if he needed anything whatsoever, no matter what I was doing, if he called, I was there. But of course, my dad being my dad, I'm sure there was times he might have needed something and he refrained because he knew it was something important to me. That's the type of man my dad was. That's why I was more than willing to do whatever. That's why I made that commitment to care for him. So yeah, I drink my coffee and I write, and then I post my blog, and then I'm outside for my first walk. And it's not light yet. It's still before sunrise, although as I'm out there, there'll be some ambient light So I'm getting that first light to hit the eyes, and I talk about that often. The importance of getting sunlight to the eyes as early as possible. I'm getting natural light to the eyes as early as possible. I won't go into full detail, but it has to do with producing the right hormones to begin your day, and that those hormones that we produce in the morning to get us through the day will die off through the course of the day, and in their raw material, the body will produce melatonin and serotonin to help us sleep later that night. So, extremely important to get out. Not to mention, it's nature therapy. It's a continuation of my meditation, being out in nature. I love being out before dawn. For one, there's not a whole lot of people out. There's an occasional runner, occasional person walking to or from work or to the bus or whatever. I am fortunate to live in a beautiful area with lots of woods and fields, and even though it's in a suburban landscape, as well as tons of wildlife. There have been beavers that have made their way to my local pond now. Last year we had a bear wander through. We had several bears wander through. Yesterday I saw a raccoon. I see deer throughout the day. I track owls on my morning walk, meaning I'll hear one, and then I'll hear another, and they go back and forth, and I will instantly change course in my walk to see if I can find the tree that they are under, and that I can spend a little time listening with them. Absolutely love doing that. Rabbits, squirrels, duck, geese, previously mentioned beavers. We have tons of foxes, possums, animals large and small, an occasional coyote. I have not seen a coyote in my neighborhood. I have neighbors that have on their outdoor trail cams that they have. As well, I did hear one about a week ago, and it's an unmistakable sound. Definitely different than a dog. So again, and being near trees, being near moving water, hearing moving water at night when there's very little other sound just has a magical quality. Anything, anytime being in nature is not only a gift, it is healing. Again, it's a natural form of meditation. Your brain responds because it responds to fractals, and nature abounds in fractals. Your mind itself is fractal by nature. These patterns within patterns within patterns. So we get this sense of coherence, resonance, when we are out in nature, knowing that we belong without even having to think it, because it's just registered within every cell of the body. Get out in nature as early as possible, and your life will change. Your emotional life will change. You'll be more patient, more resilient. Your immune function will be healthier. You'll be more at peace, more empathetic, more compassionate. Everything will change. Not that I'm saying you're not compassionate and empathetic now. You will just grow more so. It is a yogic healing, Ayurvedic. Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. Proven principle in Ayurvedic and yoga psychology. Get out in nature. So, and that's just my first morning excursion into nature. When I get back, I have my breakfast, which is oatmeal. Oatmeal is berries, bananas, a little bit of flaxseed, some walnuts, some dates, and obviously, I've mentioned before, I am a vegan, so when people say, where do I get my protein? I get it from plants. More than enough in plants. The question I always ask meat eaters is, where do you get your fiber? Which is an actual more important question than where do you get your protein, because protein is found in everything we eat, from plants to grains to whatever. But fiber is only found in plants. So yes, the question is, where do you get your fiber? that's when I do, after my breakfast, do a little bit of work as far as um, if I'm working with a meditation client or helping somebody with breath work or whatever. I answer some emails, answer questions. I like going here online on YouTube and supporting as many people as possible. Whoever pops up in my feed, I'd like to uh, watch their routine, see what they're doing for the day, send them some support, send them some love, let them know that somebody's there, somebody's interested in what they're doing. Um, and it's from people, yogic meditation, uh, fitness, specifically burpees. Um, but I also love uh, artists and musicians who have their channels. And it might just be a guy with very few followers who sits in his basement um, doing cover songs or writing originals or does a weekly concert in his kitchen. I have a YouTube friend who does bathtub sessions. He sits in a bathtub, no water in it, with his guitar. I guess the acoustics are specifically good in the bathtub and in the bathroom. And again, I just love finding these people and um, giving some support. Thumbs up and a nice comment. In my, for me, my opinion, goes a long way. And not just for them, it goes a long way for me, because kindness begets kindness. Kindness begets the uh, neurological pathways of feeling good, which is no small thing. In an often harsh world, um, feeling good shouldn't be undervalued at all. If you can do something for someone else, it's going to produce a feeling of goodwill within you, and the world is just a little better for that having happened, honestly. And it's important to me. So that leads me up to, well, I said all that. I've been talking for almost half an hour, and we are almost at like 7:30 in the morning when so we're not going to make it through the whole day. 7:30 is about when I'm ready. It's been an hour since my breakfast or so. I used to love working out in a fasted state. Right now I fast about 15 hours a day or so. um, I used to love fasting for 18 to 20 hours every day, but things seem to be better at that 14 to 15 hour mark, occasional 16-hour mark. Um, and I am now working out after my first meal. It used to be the other way around. Um, I usually wait about an hour and then I do my burpee workout. Everyone knows who pops in my burpee workout. There's almost 800 days in a row of doing burpees. Um, there's well over probably a year and a half now of everyday burpee videos out there. So I don't need to go into detail about that. But when I am done my workout, my wife slash ex-wife, or my ex-wife slash wife, or my companion, my significant other, my whatever, at this point being beyond any need for any type of label whatsoever, shows up with Misty the Pomsky, which is a Pomeranian Husky mix, which takes all the um, bad qualities of a Husky and all the bad qualities of a Pomeranian and puts it in one dog. Um, not really bad. I don't think any dog has a bad quality whatsoever. And she has 100% the best quality of all of those, of the Huskies as well as the Pomeranian. Um, Wonderful dog. Loves to walk. Friendliest dog in the world. Has never met anything that she has not responded well to. From cat. She's a little not sure what to make of foxes when we occasionally see one. Um, Deers are just large puppies that she will attempt to get somewhat close to. It's just a bigger butt to sniff, uh, in dog psychology. And we will walk again for 2 to 3 miles. We'll throw in some running as well. Um, just keeping a little bit in running shape in case we decide to make a ultra running comeback, which I think Mocha is going to. She's at a race today, actually. I believe a 6 hour race, I think. One that I've done a couple times. I don't know if I'm ever going to come out of ultra running retirement. I just don't feel compelled to. But you know what? If you had asked me the year before I started ultra running if I was ever going to be compelled to do a 100-mile race, I would have said absolutely not. I run to stay in shape for kettlebell sport, but I'm not a runner per se. A year later, I did my first 50K, I did my first 50 miler, and I was well on my way to training for a 100 miler, as well as quite a few 24-hour races. Several 100 races, 100-mile races, but only two, I think, out of 6 or so 100-mile races, only buckling twice, only getting to the finish twice, various reasons. Um, so after my second walk and run for the day, I do my more serious yoga routine, which has been cut down quite a bit with the back issue. Enter Yoga Nidra to fill that space, and I am absolutely enthralled with Yoga Nidra, healing modality, a deep, deep restorative practice. Changes you in so many profound ways. Highly recommend Yoga Nidra, and it is simple as finding a guide that you can find on YouTube, you can find online, um, and having them listen to the voice, listening to a track for whatever length of time you choose, guide you through the practice. Um, Amazing that I didn't commit to it in a 40 plus year yoga practice, that it took me so long to fully. I would sit in Yoga Nidra at the end of the session, but never really committed to it until recently. And now that I have, makes me wonder why it took me so long. But you commit when you're ready to commit. These things come as grace. You can't second guess yourself. Why didn't I do any of this before? Because you weren't ready to do any of this before. And for whatever reason, now you are, which is why I came into your life. That is the thing with Yoga Nidra. After my practice, I eat, and then I like coming here live, and then I do my second meditation session for the day. There it is, guys. Other stuff comes later. There's other stuff within, spending time to read, other things as well. But that's the outline, the gist. I also have my yoga practice in the afternoon contains more pranayama, more breath work. In the evening, I have a sleep hygiene practice that is another very specific pranayama. Generally, the exhalation is twice the length of my inhalation. It could be as simple as breathing in for 4, exhaling for 8, or breathing in for 4, exhaling through the left, which is the side that corresponds with the parasympathetic nervous state, which is the rest and digest state, prepares you for sleep, or box breathing, or Nadi Chandra, the alternate nostril breathing, where I have a breath retention so that I take the breath from, you generally want to slow down the breath per minute when you're preparing for sleep. When you enter in with the breath retention, you can slow it down as little as 3 breaths in the space of a minute, which again puts you into that parasympathetic nervous state and gets you deeply, deeply ready for rest, relaxation, and a deep sleep. When that's done, I might read specifically before bed. I read some type of spiritual text. Lately, it has been Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Uh, I've been reading the Tao Te Ching. Um, by my nightstand, I also have Nisargadatta Maharishi's I Am That, which I'll dive into. The Siva Sutras, the Upanishads, um, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's um, The Art of Living and Being. Got a copy of the Buddhist text of Dhammapada. All those I'll pick sometimes at random. Bhagavad Gita, I think I mentioned that, and I'll just dive in and read for a little bit before bed. I like to take that with me. I like to take, these are words that have been spiritual aspirants for a millennium and longer, have used these words to enter a deeper state of consciousness. I like to take those words with me into sleep and allow their magic to work without my egoic interference, where, if I hear myself saying, oh, I get that, or, oh yeah, I need to do this, or I need to practice this, or this is what I want to do. That's all ego claiming something. It's not the ego that awakens. It's an awakening that allows you to see the ego at play, and you start to smile at those incidences in your life where the ego used to take charge, and now you can just smile and sort of watch things play out. And when you do that type of spiritual reading, you bypass the ego. You take it into that deep sleep, in the pure, pure awareness, where everything is shut down. The reason why people don't remember deep sleep is because it's pure awareness without anything to be aware of except for awareness itself. For awareness to be remembered, it needs an object. It needs a happening. It means something. In the absence of that, it's just pure abiding awareness in and of itself. So you take those words with you into that awareness and allow them to work mysteriously, magically through that deep, deep sleep / beingness. And then I'm up and I start all that again, but it seems brand new every single time. So that's my day, guys. I don't know if anyone will actually make it all the way through that. It sounds like an ordeal. For me, it is ever joyful, every bit of it. So that's it, guys. I will see everyone tomorrow. You guys have a good day and take care.